Hey, what's up? It's FTK Computer. How are you guys doing? So, a lot of y'all have been asking me what are my thoughts about PvE getting canceled. I took a few days to really think about it, and what the state of Overwatch, I guess. So now here I am, ready to talk about it. So for me, PvE, I was anticipating on PvE to make Overwatch 2 feel like Overwatch 2 and not Overwatch 1.5. Overwatch has always had a very rich lore, and I think people really connect with the characters in the lore. However, because the game is a multiplayer kind of shooter game, the lore is few and far between. Like, we don't get that much information about it until, a short comes out or a comic comes out. And I think having a way to tie that all together was why a lot of people, including me, wanted PvE. Now that it's not coming, it's kind of sad because it was something that was highly anticipated. But I don't know necessarily if it was so highly anticipated because people were just so excited to play PvE, or because people were thirsty for more lore, and because Overwatch, like, even though the core of the game is great, there doesn't feel like there's much to it different than Overwatch 1. And so just having something new feels great, but now that that's not happening, I know a lot of people, I've been seeing some of the videos and kind of skimming through other people's videos on this topic and how people are hurt, or they feel kind of like Overwatch has been lying to us. And I mean, those are valid feelings, because I think that when something is like promised to you for so long and then, years down the line, it's like, oh, just kidding. That's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. Me personally, I just hope that if they're not doing PvE because they didn't want to release something that they weren't proud of, and they would prefer to focus on the game, then I hope that they really do that, like, for real, because Overwatch 2 does not feel like a new game. And I've talked about this before. The one thing that I wish they did not get rid of was 6v6. Y'all know how I feel about it. I don't like playing 5v5. The only time I actually appreciate 5v5 is when I'm playing DPS, but if I'm playing anything else, I do not like 5v5. I wish they would go back to 6v6. The one thing I didn't wish they changed, they did change. But like, I hope they use this to like bring more things into the main game. One of the big ones I would say is character customization. That is something that I feel like is so missing from Overwatch, specifically because in solo queue, and I've said this as a solo queue player, I feel like so much of it is out of my hands. And especially now with role queue being what people consider the main Overwatch, like, I still play open queue, but sometimes it can be a mess just because I feel like people don't take it as seriously. With role queue being the main Overwatch, there's even less you can do, whereas before at least you could flex. Now it's like you're stuck. And if there was a way to kind of customize your character's playstyle or abilities to fit like what team you have and what other people are picking or something, that I think would make the game much better. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Do you feel like people would be as toxic and as bitter and willing to throw the game if they felt they had more agency behind their wins and losses? That's just my question. What do you think? Because, like, what if you feel like, okay, I feel like my team is playing low damage heroes and we need more damage. I can pick a custom that allows my character to do more damage in sacrifice of blank. That way, instead of constantly like making it about, oh, well, this person didn't pick who I wanted them to pick, or this person doesn't flex to who I think they should play, or maybe they don't play it at all, but like, you have some control over what's going on. I think that would make people less angry and toxic while playing and create better sportsmanship. I think so. Let me know if you agree. You may disagree. I also think they should bring back loot boxes. I know I'm not making my case for like a whole new game, but the things that worked shouldn't have been taken out. I think having loot boxes is a good idea, just because like the whole battle pass thing is kind of confusing, but also Like, some people just don't want to spend money on stuff, but still want to have an opportunity to get stuff. I think Apex does it really well, whereas like the chances of you getting something great are slim, but every once in a while you'll get something. I don't know. I think that makes sense to bring back. However, you know, more maps, more heroes, I think that always can change how people feel about the game. But also, I don't know, there needs to be something to get people hyped again, to get people excited again. I don't know. I feel like that hasn't come back ever since the wait for Overwatch 2. I think that was the start of it. Like, everybody waiting for Overwatch 2 because it was announced so early, and then everybody like being put on, all the gamers being put on hold while Overwatch is doing things. And then it's like the year passes and we've only gotten a few little events that don't really feel like anything. Maybe that's another thing, like making the events more worthwhile. Like, I don't know, when I played Junkenstein, I thought that was just like one thing, and then that the next year would be something else, but then it just was like Junkenstein's year after year. Last time we did get something new, which was really cool. So like, focusing on the things that they do well and just do them better and do them more, making the core game more expansive, more maps, more heroes, especially more support and tank heroes. Bring back 6v6. I know that's not gonna happen, but I still think they should do that. Bring back 6v6. I'm sorry. 5v5, I just don't like it. But I don't think that the lack of PvE will necessarily kill Overwatch. I don't think it's going to be a dead game because of that. But I do think that they should be careful from now on, because that was a big hit to Overwatch players. And nowadays I've noticed that like with the internet, there's so much power in the consumer that like you do have to be careful. You know, Overwatch players are not going to take SHIT forever. Eventually they're going to move to some other game. And a lot of us are playing more games than Overwatch, but I feel like at a certain point, people are going to be like, I don't want to play Overwatch. I don't care about this stuff anymore. It happened to Street Fighter Cross Tekken. You don't want, it can happen when you make your base really upset. So yeah, don't think it's going to kill Overwatch, but at the same time, I think the Overwatch team really needs to be careful and also very invested in what they do next. You know, listen to the gamers, listen to your group. What do Overwatch players want? That's what y'all should focus on. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. What do you think about Overwatch PvE being canceled? I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Talk to you later.